Hey guys, welcome back here to my channel and today to another episode of the Diorama Showcase. This time I'm going to be showcasing all the entries that were made and created for March, and I gave you this go-kart track. It's quite a simple little go-kart layout. I was really interested to see what you guys would come up with and to see what you would do with this. I did have one extra rule this month, and that was you had to include one extra attraction on this small map, which made it a little bit of a challenge because you had to try and squeeze in another ride somewhere. In my head, I had this kind of looking like a little bit like a fun spot like you have in Florida, Orlando and Kissimmee. You know, that kind of little kind of small adventure park that has a little go-kart track, that kind of thing. That's something I would have done. Unfortunately, I didn't have time this month to do my own, but I'm really happy that you guys have taken part and sent in your entries. It really keeps this competition going each month, and I really look forward to looking at all the entries that you guys send in. Just a reminder that this is just for fun, it's nothing serious, and it's all about making friends and developing your skills. So let's get into the entries in no particular order. So first up here we have castles and karts. This is a nice little map, but it's been put together quite nicely. We have 3 extra attractions here, so you've achieved the goal. We have a drop tower, a swinging ship, and a Ferris wheel there in the corner. So those have been squeezed in very nicely, and they don't look too random either. They look like they belong to the park. I like that the go-kart track there is suspended over the water, which I think is very nice. Creates a nice little element for the people going around on the go-kart track. I do think the whole design of the map is quite blocky and vanilla looking, you know, with the paths being so zigzaggy and square and the buildings being so gridded as well. But it's a nice little style. It's very charming. I think you've done a great job as well. Some more little details on the castle and everything would have been quite nice, rather than just those plain kind of brick castle walls that come in the vanilla assets. But here's a little close-up for you here. You can see the go-karts kind of going around there on the water with the lily pads there. It's very nice. Got some nice trees as well, just to kind of fill in those areas. But yeah, some more kind of path work would have been nice so that it kind of completes the flow of the map. I think you did a great job. So next up here we have Temple Escape, and basically it does what it says on the tin. So we have a go-kart track here. This has been done very nicely where the terrain has been lowered, and so there's been all these supports made out of arches that support up the go-kart track, which I actually think looks really, really awesome. So that's really nice to see. I like the color palette here as well. We've got these nice deep teal colors on those roofs there with the browns on the side, giving it almost an oriental style look. And we've got this cool little rock structure there as well where the go-kart track actually goes through. The extra attractions here, we have a flying carpet and a drop tower, and the depot's been covered up quite nicely as well. Again, I've said it already on the last map, I do find that this one, the buildings are all on that grid facing all the same direction, and it would have been nice maybe to have one on the diagonal, just to kind of break it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more organic and flowy. But I do love all the structure work here that you've done actually on the go-kart track. I think it's really awesome, very unique. It looks really, really cool. And also the foliage work that you've done is really awesome as well. It really ties in nicely with everything going on. It really ties in with the colors of the roofs that you chose as well. And yeah, I think it looks really pretty. So yeah, you did a great job. Thank you for sending this in to me, and keep on building. I can't wait to see what else you do in the future. Next up here we have Temple of Doom. We had a bit of a temple theme going on this month. This is cool. As you can see here on the left side there, we have this big temple building, which actually covers up the depot as well. And we have a family coaster that's kind of running around it and inside it, and it comes out and does a little outdoor section with an inversion. And then we got the go-kart track there running around the bottom and going in and out of the temple as well. So I think you did a very nice job. I do think the temple side is very nice. I love all the rocks and the kind of facade that you made on it. I feel like the detail on the rest of the map is lacking a little bit in comparison to the temple building that you built. I think the little coaster they're running through it is really, really awesome. It reminds me of that new coaster that they are building at Lagoon. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. Just, yeah, like I said, just wish there was a little bit more detail, especially these buildings here on the bottom right-hand corner there. They could have done with a little bit more detail to kind of complement the amount of detail that you put into this little temple here. But yeah, like I said, I think you did a great job. The extra attraction here, of course, was the family spinning coaster here, which you did very nicely. Love all the smoke coming out of the middle there as well. It's very cool. We've got some nice foliage going on as well. I just wish there was a little bit more detail actually on the go-kart track itself, as this was a go-kart track challenge and not a family coaster challenge. But overall, I think you did a great job, so thank you for sending that one in to me. Next up here we have a map by Pacific Rim, and as you can see here, the extra attraction that was added to this map was the wooden coaster. And although I think the wooden coaster has quite a nice little layout, it's quite short and it's got quite a nice shaping going on, especially with that helix and everything, I do think it overpowers the go-kart track itself, and your focus goes straight to the wooden coaster, and this was, like I said before, a go-kart challenge. But it is quite nice. I love how you've squeezed the wooden coaster in there to make it fit with the size of the map, and the go-kart track is weaving in and out of the wooden structure there on the bottom, which is quite nice. Just wish the attention was more on the go-karts. Also, I like that you covered up the depot as well with this kind of area where there's some shops and things, and it just hides that depot, so that's nice to see as well. Thank you for taking part and sending that one in to me as well. Here we have Kart Garden, and of course this is like a garden with go-karts. It's got a little bit of an Asian theme going on. Again, I think it was a vanilla build, so some of the buildings do lack that extra little bit of detail that I sometimes like to see. But the go-kart track itself is very nice. Again, over water, which I think is nice, but something we've seen quite a few times now this month. And then it goes off into this nice kind of garden area, comes back around these kind of wooden stone pillars coming out of the water, and then back to that station there. And we've got a nice little waterfall in the corner there, which is covering up the depot. The rocks, I think, are a little bit oversized. I think if they were smaller and placed kind of a little bit more scattered and everything, it could have looked a little bit more organic and everything. I just think that those big rocks are a bit of a distraction to the rest of the map. But it's a nice job with everything tied together. We've got those nice pink blossom trees, which is very reminiscent of these kind of Asian gardens, and the foliage as well around the rest of it. But yeah, I wish there would have been a little bit more detail actually on the go-kart track itself. I feel like there's so many things we could have done with the go-kart track, but you did a nice job. I think the whole map on a whole is quite pleasing to look at, and I actually quite enjoyed looking around this one. So next up here we have DK Mounting by Blackbird Gaming, and this is of course a Mario Kart map, which is based on Donkey Kong in the jungle, and I think you did a really cool job. I like the little facade there that you built around the depot to kind of cover it up. Very theme park style, having the back exposed and the front where the guests would see, have all that theming, so that's really cool. The go-kart track I feel like is really cool as well. It weaves in and out of these rocks and these little buildings. We've got suspension bridges, and again, I just love the fact that you've actually really focused on a theme and actually applied it to the go-kart track, which I think was really nice. I think that was something that was a little bit missing this month. They were just go-kart tracks, and I wanted to really see a theme used on the go-kart track. There's so much we could have done with it. So this one has got some cool little areas. We've got this cool little Mario Kart bit here, Race Your Heroes. So you can see Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and everything there, and then also there's some nice details actually on the go-kart track itself here. So these kind of wooden bridged areas going across the water, other type of details that I was kind of looking for this month, which I think is really, really cool. It just makes it a little bit different and breaks up the go-kart track style a bit. Next up here we have Parkitect F1, so we've got Formula Racing. This one was very cool, got some really nice details in here. I just feel like it's a little bit untidy, so I'm not quite sure where to look in some areas. But the whole concept and idea is very, very nice. Of course, Formula 1. We've got some really cool banners and signs and things, which you see at real race tracks, which is really nice. We've got these grandstands as well. The depot's been covered up quite nicely with this building here, maybe with like a lookout tower on the top. The extra attraction here, of course, is this drop tower. And this has some really cool theming on it as well, with signs and things. Let's just get a little closer look here at some of the details. So we've got tires, of course, around the outside of the track, which is really cool. We have these kind of stripy barriers. We've got these really cool advert posters for different various brands. Yeah, it's really cool. I actually like how you use like a track from a track ride there to create these kind of colored edges around the go-kart track itself. That's a very nice little detail that you've done there. So next up here we have Happy Raceway, another one that I thought was quite nice. I like the rich colours on this one, those dark greens and that yellow track of that little junior coaster stand out really nicely. Yeah, an extra attraction here of course is, like I said, that junior coaster, but we also have a Ferris wheel in the corner. The depot's been cut up quite nicely, and we have a nice little kind of restaurant cafe area over on the right hand side there where the umbrellas are. I just wish the theming was a little bit more out of the box. We've had a lot of racing themes, which is very obvious for a go-kart track, and I really wanted to see something different. But saying that, I think you've done a very nice job here. I do like what you've done. We've got these nice little paths and bridges going over the go-kart track there. The mini coaster itself, I do think it's under supported. It does look like it's hovering a little bit. I know there are some supports in there that you have made, which is nice to see. But like I said, it does just look a little bit like it's just kind of floating above the go-kart track. But this is definitely that kind of fun spot style park that you would find, like I spoke about at the beginning of the episode. I really like the checkered border on this one that goes around the outside of the map, so I thought that was nice. But a great job, well done. Next up here we have Mamma Mia, which is a nice little Italian theme. So this is cool to see like a different theme on the go-kart track here. We've got the go-kart track kind of weaving in and out of this little Italian village. The extra attraction here, we have a calm river boat ride there, as you can see in the bottom corner. I do think this one is a little bit blocky. The buildings are very repetitive and they all have the same color roof. It would have been nice to have some different shades of red in there just to kind of break up that tone of color, and also some of the actual walls themselves could have maybe been in different textures or different shades, and maybe some on the diagonal would have been nice as well, just to kind of break up that gridded look. But I think you did quite a nice job here. Again, I think this is a vanilla build, so you've done a good job. I love some of the little details in here though as well, like the stained glass windows in those window holes and stuff really do stand out and make a little bit of a difference. I think you've done a great job. Can't wait to see more from you as well in the future, because I think this is a great build. Next up here we have another one called Racing Karts. This is by TriStar. Again, a race theme of course. We've got a nice little helicopter going over there, which I think is a really cool idea. I think you made the track there invisible and the helicopters actually fly around the map, so that's really nice to see something very different. I haven't seen something like that really before, and I like the use of having like the helicopter pad there in the corner for them to land on as the station. So these kind of little things I really appreciate. I think it's really cool. So the go-kart track, as you can see here, we've got the black borders around it. We've got the little Formula 1 car there. And then over on the left side there, we have a little gas station, which I think is a nice little detail. And over in the corner here, where we have the actual depot, which has been covered up by this really cool helicopter pad, we've got like a little swimming pool there. So that's really nice to see as well. I think this is a really cool map. I really like it. Again, it's just a racing theme, so it's not completely out of the box, but some of the other details on the map really kind of sell this map to me, and the focus is still on the go-kart track. The helicopter ride isn't taking away my focus from what the Challenger was. So I think you did a great build, and I really appreciate all the little details that you did in this one. So in at third place here this month, we have a map by Sappy519, and I really like this one. The extra attractions here, we have a log flume, and we also have the top spin there. I just thought this was really nice. It wasn't just a racing theme. This was like a nice jungle theme going on. We've got the racetrack going through the jungle, through the rocks and through those big palm trees and everything. I really like that. I like the buildings in this one as well. They really match the style and the theme very nicely. The log flume for me was a little bit strange, just its layout, but I do think it fits in quite nicely around the map. And we do have a drop tower in there as well, which has been themed to a giant tree. So not really something original. I have seen something like that before, but it fits the theme very nicely in this map. The log flume there, as you can see in the middle there, kind of creating like a nice focus piece, and we have this top spin in the corner there. So yeah, let's get a little closer look at some of these details. We've got this cool little dragon here in the middle made out of shapes, breathing out some smoke there around the side of the log flume. And I just like how the go-kart track kind of weaves in and out of these different tunnels and pieces of foliage and trees, and it's really kind of hard to see where they're going, which I think really creates this kind of cool atmosphere. And we've got these cool bridges as well going across where guests can kind of look out and see what's going on. And we've got some cool little details and structures throughout that map. So in at second place here, we have Solric with Multi 21 Circuit. Again, this was just a racing theme, but I thought it was done very nicely. The actual map itself was very clean and tidy. I love the color combination here. It really kind of had this tropical feel to it with like those kind of pastel colors. The palm trees as well around the corner are very nice. I like the different shades of green that have been used to kind of make all those palm trees look a little bit more natural and different. The actual go-kart track itself I think is very nice. It's got some really cool terra painting around it, some really nice natural foliage. I like all the kind of areas with the stadium lighting. We've got the red and white checkered patches on the corners, and we've got cool, some really cool like advertisements as well on the billboards like we've seen in the previous racetrack themes. But I thought this was just very nice. I like this round building that's covering up the depot, which I think is very nice. It's not just too blocky and square. Everything kind of has a bit more shape to it. It looks a little bit more natural. I could really see this being almost maybe like a real go-kart track that you would maybe go to. And let's just take a little look now over at the other side here, where we have this top scan ride, which is really, really cool. There are some cool trigger effects on this go-kart track as well, like a crashed go-kart with an explosion and stuff like that, which is really nice. These little details, I think, really make a map and really bring it to life and give it a little bit more atmosphere. So yeah, well done for this one. I really like it. I'm also going to show you this one at nighttime as well. So let's just switch over to nighttime. We've got some cool lighting here. So obviously the stadium lighting around the actual go-kart track is very bright, making sure that everyone can see the track. And then around the kind of guest areas, like the actual station for the go-karts and the round platform building there and the top scan, we've got some nice kind of blue and red lighting, which I think is really nice to see. Well done on this one. I really enjoyed looking around this one. I thought it was very clean and tidy. It wasn't the busiest map, but sometimes that works out a little bit better, I think. So in at first place here, we have a map by Vertex. And this is Go-Kart Rally. I think I'm saying that right. This was really, really cool. I really like it. This is an indoor attraction with some really cool indoor theming. And an indoor go-kart track. I don't think I've ever, or an indoor dark ride go-kart track I've never really seen before. This has got some really cool details, some really cool theming. I love the way that the pictures there change. So every time you go around the track, it's a different scene. I think that's really, really clever. And then we've got this really cool trigger effect billboard on the front there, where the lights actually follow the go-kart track along their journey up the map, which I think is just genius. Really cool little detail. This is the kind of stuff I love to see, thinking out of the box and doing these really amazing things. And just the way that the actual scenery inside changes every time the tracks go around is just really, really clever, really amazing, and I just think it's such an ingenious idea. I haven't seen anything like that before, so huge congratulations on how you managed to achieve that, and even thinking up the idea is really, really amazing. So of course, a part of this challenge was to include an extra attraction in this map. So this one actually uses as well the helicopter mini track ride, which I think works very nicely, going into the little hangar over there, and that actually goes inside the actual show building for the go-karts, and kind of creates like this really cool interaction for the people on that ride. The only criticism I have is that the effect that you've used to make the inside change pokes out the back a little bit, and obviously you can kind of see it moving and everything, and if that was hidden, I think it would have been a lot more tidier, but I can honestly forgive that for the way that it works from the inside and the way that we look at it, because you can't see the back from looking at the front. That's my only criticism, but I think the whole idea and the concept of this whole thing is just really clever and something I've never ever seen before done in this game. And this is the type of thing that I love to see. People still kind of making my mind baffle over the way that you've done things still, you know, after years of playing this game. It's so good to see people still thinking outside of the box. So that's why this one is first place. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as well. I really do appreciate it. A big shout out to my patrons for the constant support. Thank you guys. And also, if you want to take part in the next challenge, there is a video on my channel. I will link it on the screen now. There you can download the map, and you actually have 2 months to complete the map this time, as it's a larger map. It's a recreation of the layout of the Hagrid's coaster at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. Can't wait to see what you guys do. A quick shout out to Mr. Unit 64 for helping me with the challenge, for filming all of the footage and uploading it for me and everything. It's really such a massive help, so thank you, and I'll see you next time for another episode on my channel. Bye bye.